Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer, an RPG by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson-Morgan. You can find it on itch.io. Last time, the DBC crew, masquerading as the Murder of Crows, attended the second event of Contest. A meet and greet with committee members of Project Rebirth, along with ancillary contractors and department heads involved with the project. While Astro glad-handed with the committee, Evelene kept her ears open to discussion. Dyne took the temperature of the room whilst finding an unexpected use for his medical training, and Steve made inroads with some competitors while setting up others for failure. During the event, their secret sponsor and contact Efek, Desaria, passed them a piece of tech while hinting it would be useful tonight. When they returned to their rooms, Astro identified it as part of a monitoring device. We ended the session just as Astro dialed in. Welcome back, pilots.
Hey, big cliffhanger.
Yeah. I was on the edge of my seat.
Now it's time for the reveal.
I revealed at the end of the last session that the only thing you got before the session ended was that the voices sounded familiar. Maybe like the committee members. We can go ahead and pick up now with what you overhear. As the monitoring device given to you by Efek dials in to the appropriate signal, you catch the end of a sentence. Not specific enough to make out what was said or who said it, but enough to know that the next thing you hear is a response. Sure she'll be here soon. I doubt Grime will be joining us tonight, but he has passed along his rankings to me. I've updated everything, and you'll all find in the notes I've set out where things currently stand. Good. I think we should begin then. I, for one, want to know what the hell gets you to play hooky on an event we were all supposed to attend. Not until Efek arrives. Come on. Who cares if the gopher is here? I could have a shipping algorithm built that would probably be more efficient at her job than she is. If that were true, you would have done so. I don't care for your needless barbs. We're here to do a job, and she's the most efficient logistics expert we could have managing it for us. If I may... Good. Things are placed as we want them. Some unfortunate associations of our associates might be useful. Fine, let's review the information Los has assembled for us while we wait. For a few minutes, you only hear the shuffling of paper, tapping, and scratching noises. As you come to realize the voices you heard are coming from Losa, Nosla, Opie, and Doc, who seem to be in a meeting together.
Who was the voice who was like saying, no, we have to wait for...
That was Opie.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that Opie appeared again. Like, he was out the entire evening.
That is right. He was gone. This is the first time you've heard hide or hair of him since the gala, essentially.
Yeah.
Eventually, the quiet is interrupted by an automated door sliding open and then closing again. I see you're all assembled. You hear the sound of walking and a chair being pulled out. Couldn't be a bit more punctual, Efek? I've looked into the effects the attack will have on project progress and security. I appreciate that you got me the information as quickly as you could, Orihart, but this is becoming a widespread issue. I'm not acting security, but I can confirm for you that some of my shipments may come under threat, and this changes some timetables. Doesn't that mean we should wrap this up? I'd be more effective without having to split my time. Well now, Opie, perhaps you could explain? Yes. During the event, I was pulled away with reports about a retaliatory attack. It was worse than we thought. When we took the mouthpiece out the other day, we were expecting to encounter more resistance. Turns out they may have drawn us there intentionally. I've had EFIC examine the affected production chains. This is not acceptable. What about security? Surely we aren't paying these people to let our assets get attacked. Well, from what I've gathered so far, this group of dissidents are more organized than we were prepared for. Excuse me, but is there a reason why we aren't contracting CorSec for additional security? I've asked before, and all you've told me is that there's a conflict of interest. Surely the safety of such a large project should trump minor concerns. Well, the concerns are not minor. And perhaps you should concern yourself with your own concerns. Fine then, if that's the case, I see here Losa's updated the standings for our little contest. Why not just hire the top 3 right now and be done with it? I've been asking for Latitude to hire on for months now. No. Why? I appreciate your simplistic view on this, EFIC, but we need to run them through their paces to determine who's suited at being involved in Project Rebirth. Fine. When are you ready for your next needless delay? I'll be busy doing my job to keep your projects afloat for you. Now, we all want Project Rebirth to succeed. I have no doubts that we will be exactly where we need to be and everything will serve its purpose. I'm quite pleased with the progress myself. I've had many resources acquiesce to capability augments. I suggest we solve one problem with another. Let's have our prospective contractors deal with our security problem right now. Honestly, I've thought of that already. I'd prefer we didn't, at least not until we have something binding with them. Perhaps we should all make efforts to probe them for any secrecy or moral concerns before we let them in on what we're dealing with. In the meantime, I think we'll throw them up against our own security, run it as a drill or something. We can see how they would deal with something like what we had with the overthrow over on Module 17. See how they do while also testing our own security for cracks we could sure up, and perhaps we could keep them on for some of that work. Well, you all have the packet Losa's prepared. Let's continue this in the morning check-in. I've had enough headaches tonight. The microphone becomes considerably less useful from here on. As you can tell, there is a flurry of movement, things being picked up from tables and things being shuffled around. You hear a thump noise like something getting knocked over, and all of a sudden the microphone doesn't pick up anything anymore.
Okay. Real quick, when we received the transmission earlier today, the hijack transmission, didn't Jessica track that to someplace on the station?
Yes.
Was that Module 17?
It was not.
Okay. I'll say, where was it?
I have it written down somewhere, but you can assume you know it.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. I'll just turn to the others and say, looks like they're running into more resistance than they're letting on with us. What's this about an overthrow on Module 17? They have dissidents on the station?
I think that there's a rebellion going on here.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Mm-hmm. What was this about, a mouthpiece? Was it like one of their leaders or what?
The transmission.
Oh.
Evelene.
Oh, that's what I figured it might have meant. They took out the person doing the transmission. So I think it's probably safe to say the hijack transmission wasn't an elaborate ploy to see how we react to it. This is the real deal.
Fantastic. Just another problem to add on to our current issue.
Yeah, I don't 100% like how they. Was it Opie was saying something about testing our morals? Not sure how I sit well with. I don't think I sit well with that.
Well, now that we know the questions are coming, you should be able to answer in a way that seems real, but what they want.
You notice on the device you were listening in on, it shuts itself down. But it does something very useful as it shuts itself down. It compiles a transcription of what you just overheard.
Oh, nice.
That's handy.
Does the transcription identify the speaker correctly?
It does.
Oh,
well, as far as you're aware.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's doing it worse, I don't know if you would know the difference, but...
Yeah.
I'm going to send this info to you pilots. I will find a better way to send this to you, because the way I tried to do it did not work. But you can continue on. It is still printing up that transcription for you.
Yeah, we really need to upgrade past the dot matrix there.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it's a dot matrix printer. It's doing one line at a time. Has little holes in the paper. I'll say, so Efik wanted us to hear this, but I'm not sure what we can act on. However, any information is useful, and particularly the knowledge that they're dealing with a rebellion on station and trying to kind of keep it under wraps. I don't know how that's going to work out for them long term.
I think that was the point, Astro. Efik was not 100% aware of what we would hear, but anything is better than nothing.
She's probably been recording every meeting they've had since she knew we were coming, and none of them were useful enough to give us or risk giving us until now.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Would have been nice if they had told us what our current scores are, but oh well.
They alluded to it.
All we know is that they've been updated.
I imagine they're going to post them at some point, though, right?
Yeah,
Fill up the tension.
Just a quick clarification. I heard Stevie say something about recording. This was a live trend. We were listening in live, right?
You were listening live. That is correct. Okay. You logged into an active recording. No, you logged into an active recording device. It's just this handy recording device happened to, when it shuts down, print out a transcript of what you just overheard.
Yeah. So she didn't necessarily know ahead of time.
This is an important thing, though. You don't have a recording of that conversation. After the communication device shut down, it did not create a recording of what you just overheard. All you have is the transcript now.
So there's nothing we could use as evidence for later on other than a transcript, which anyone could just fabricate.
Well, it's probably best that way.
Yeah, true.
We're playing with fire. We don't want to get burnt. Anyway, this could.
You have to roll a save at the end of every turn. It really sucks.
I mean,
I would know. And how?
You're the expert.
Everyone's on fire already, and she's not even in her mech. Damn it.
this could put us in a compromising situation. They did mention that they could use us to deal with the dissidents directly.
I have to agree with Opie on this one. They're probably not going to do that on the basis that because we don't have a contractual obligation with them, if we find out more while not under contract, it could put them in an even worse situation than they currently are. So it's not something I'm too worried about.
But if we get the job, we will be under contract then.
We will, but we'll also be more likely be working under ethic.
Yeah, and at that point, we'll have ourselves, we'll have ourselves in position.
I wouldn't assume anything, honestly.
That's true, but I think our chances are better after getting the job than worrying about it before we even have a contract. Because if that's something they're worried about, then they would be risking 5 other groups learning more about this job than they want before they can even form a contract, right? Then they would have to deal with somehow silencing the other 5 Lancer groups.
Yeah.
Well, if they do indeed want us to test their own security, that's certainly something we can handle. In fact, we've already done that. Should we tell them? He kind of says jokingly.
Probably not. If it's mech combat, well, I can just we can just, deal with it.
Blow it up. You were going to say that's always an option when you're dealing with security.
Yeah, I'll just make sure to aim for their heads, not the chest. I'll make sure to tell Artemis to aim non-lethally. Oh, man.
Hey,
Nope, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay. I was going to say that, you will get a message sent to the room that is like a very short informal message sent out to everyone by Losa that just says, meeting at 0900 at the gathering space to reveal reveal results and announce the next part of contest.
Sounds good.
All right.
It is relatively late. You have just come back from a party that went fair into the night. What do you all want to do at this point?
Well, if we have to be up early, we should probably get some sleep.
Feels like the best time for it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Astro, did you want to do anything?
No, not really, but Jessica's still on the ship, right?
As far as we know.
Let's see if she can maybe set up some monitoring on comms to see if we can pick up anything unusual activity. If there's unrest going on that they're trying to keep quiet, they're not going to be able to hush everything up.
You should probably then send an encrypted message rather than call her over the public phone.
You read my mind. Already made that mistake once.
Just sends Jessica a picture of an Astro Jamin movie.
Yeah, actually I will do that, similar to what I do with Honora. I'm gonna send her like basically an email with 3 different headshots. And these are Xander Nova headshots, mind you. He took these after he completed his Xander Nova disguise.
Was this when you were trying on the outfits?
Wait.
Yep.
I need to know this. Why does Xander Nova have headshots?
Well, you haven't got to that part of Xander's backstory.
Okay, what if one of the committee members shows up at the door and says, "Why do you have headshots?" What are you gonna say?
Obviously, it's because he was trying on 3 different pairs of sunglasses.
And you need professionally prepared photos to refer to them later.
He needs a backup route if this all goes south.
I'm just saying, if Bob pulls this out on you later on, you better have an answer prepared.
So
didn't you know his other name is Xander Nova, professional model?
That's kind of the answer I'm fishing for here. Yeah.
he'll send a picture of 3 different headshots. Say, which one looks best for my profile picture? I don't know if there's like a space LinkedIn or something, but that's what he's going to be asking.
It's like your profile pic as like the head of Murder of Crows or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's like your listing on like whatever Merc Central is for like hiring out.
And then like encrypted in like subtle pixel alterations in the photos is going to be a message.
Okay. Here's my question. Did you ever brief her that this is a thing you might do?
No. So
okay.
She might not understand what I'm doing.
All right. I'm going to make you roll a pilot check then.
Okay.
You tell me what you think the trigger is.
Okay, let me look at my triggers again.
Or if one even applies here. Are you able to write this and encrypt this in such a way that your crew member will figure out what the fuck you're doing and how to help you? This might be a lead or inspire.
Yeah.
Do you know how to work with your crew? Can you lead appropriately?
Wait, do I really not have lead or... Oh, wait, why am I looking at Steve's?
That's a good question. Why are you looking at Steve?
Get out of there. It's mine.
That's better. Yeah, I think this is...
I don't know about better.
All this assault and get somewhere quickly. It's not for you, Astro.
I was going to say assault. Yeah, if you're good with lead or inspire...
Hold on. You're the only person in the crew who doesn't have very good stay cool.
Yeah, I don't have stay cool at all.
And everyone else has really good stay cool.
I can charm, I can act unseen or unheard. I can lead or inspire. I can even take control of a situation, but I can't apparently stay
But
cool.
if it spirals out from your grasp, you get really flustered.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
If it doesn't work at first pass.
He's a method actor, not an ad-lib actor. He can't make the stuff up on the fly.
Yeah. Not good at improv.
You did one improv special, and it just all went downhill from there.
Yeah, so if you're good with lead or inspire...
I will that is not usually what this is used for, but I want to see if your leadership has baked its way into Jessica working for you correctly in the way that you require as the special boy you are.
All right. Here we go. Roll it up, and that was a 5, so I'm gonna say no.
No. It takes a while for her to respond, and when she finally responds, she does pick one. She picks one of the 3 headshots and says, "I think this one would be the best for you. Also, you have a message."
She said in her message, also you have a message?
Yes.
But it's not.
She did not say what it was.
Okay. If she didn't send it to me, maybe I should go down the ship and see if she has anything to tell me. And while I'm there, when I get her message back, I'll see if she also like encoded a secret message there.
How long are you going to take decrypting and unhacking what secret message is here?
I'll be like, man, she is really good. I'll take about 30 minutes, and then I'll be like, I think maybe she didn't know what I was doing.
Well, you can just head down to the ship and maybe
I'll
spend the night there or something. I don't know.
That sounds like a good idea. If anyone asks, I'll just say I need to check on my ship. It is my ship after all. So that's what I'll do. And I'll probably just spend the night there.
All right. You get on the tram that heads from the entertainment module to the dock module. As you get on the tram, the little, 7 minute, not 7 minute, that's way too long. It's like 2 minutes commercial. It is still long.
Yeah.
It's not 7 minutes though. It's watching a show. A little 2-minute ad plays about Project Rebirth, and then the tram gets underway.
All right.
And then you get to the dock, and then like a little 45-second ad about Project Rebirth plays. And then the doors open.
All right. Yeah. I'll head to the ship.
All right. You get to the ship. The ship is in kind of a almost lockdown mode right now. Since Jessica is the only one on the ship, and like Curry is not here, and stuff like that. It just has like all the normal, like it basically has security protocols on. You approach the door. Obviously, your stuff gets you in.
Yeah. I'll and I'll kind of like send her like a quick message just before saying, "Hey, it's Astro. I thought I'd just come back to the ship to check on a few things." And then I'll let myself in.
All right, you get a message back saying that she's just hanging out in like the entertainment room.
All right, I'll head there.
All right. When you arrive, Jess is like just hanging out in like one of those comfortable like. It is. What if a beanbag was on a gimbal?
Ooh, that's a great idea.
So she's like sunk into that. She has like a cup of tea, and like has the giant television that you bought for your ship on the other side of the entertainment room. She's not playing an Astro Jamin original though, which is your intent for the use of the screen. But she is actually currently watching like current event news. As you walk in Astro, you catch the basically part of a news report that's currently ongoing. And it's someone basically just saying like, and due to the events of Inquest, events are down across the sector. We will now throw to Pundit for more information. Then some guy appears on screen. Well, you see, Steve, I think that because... Not Steve, I have to pick a different name now because one of these... Steve is my usual go-to name for rando guy. But now one of you's named Steve. Wouldn't it be awesome if Steve showed up now?
Bob?
Yeah.
His name is Stove.
That's why I picked the name. I knew that.
Well, Johnson, you see, I think what really we needed all along was to show that we're tough on crime, and that's all these people really are. These hopped up criminals. They're functioning in lawless, outer rim space for too long. I think bringing the law to those lawless areas is really what we've needed. And they just go on talking in circles, self-congratulatory.
The big tough on crime guy has like a voice that cracks.
Yeah. Well, they just spiral into agreeing with each other's circles where they're basically restating each other's points and agreeing with them. And you see Jess just like shaking her head as she watches this. And she's like, I had heard that there was some stuff going on, but obviously these people aren't going to be talking about it. And that's all we get this close to the core. So no pirate signals out this way.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I wanted to come by. I wanted to see if we could maybe keep our eye on any weird activity going on in the station.
The station's huge. It's larger than a continent. I can definitely keep track of things, but
I can narrow it down for you. How about Module 17?
Yeah, absolutely. I can check out if you have that. That's exactly what I wanted to ask for. So perfect. I'm glad you came prepared.
Yeah. So, at the little shindig we went to, I spoke to Ethic, and she slipped me a device that allowed me to pipe into a recording or a microphone. I guess she bugged one of their meeting rooms. All the counselors gathered there, and they were talking about some resistance they've been having on the station. Specifically, one of them brought up Module 17, something about an overthrow there. So I think there's a lot of unrest happening around in certain parts of the station, and they're trying to keep it under wraps. They're reluctant to bring CorSec into it as well.
All right, well, I can keep my ears tuned in, that's for sure. I mean, I can't make any guarantees, but I have something to look for now.
Excellent. That's what I want to hear. By the way, that's what my message to you for the headshots was actually about. It's true. I am vain. I probably would have sent you a message asking for your opinion on headshots eventually. But I had encoded a message asking you to look into it.
Okay,
I don't blame you for not picking that up. I don't think we've ever established that kind of protocol before.
Yeah, normally if there's something to look for, you should have a code phrase or a trigger word or a series of trigger words that you work into the title or the body of the message that alerts your contact, hey, there's something to look for here.
Yes, that is a good idea, and we should come up with some probably multiple code phrases, so
it sounds more natural in conversation if you have a wider array, but you have to be careful that they're not too many and too many words that you would normally use, because then it could be hard to not send false signals.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
All of a sudden, you just thought you were talking with your friend about something fun, and you get an angry message from them 5 hours later, like, you said something about bees, so I spent 2 hours decrypting your message, and there was nothing there. And it gets all confusing.
Don't want that. Also, by the way, you said I had a message?
Oh, yeah, you're at the up in the cockpit. It came into the ship. It was addressed to the ship.
Oh, okay. I'll go check that out.
All right.
All right, thanks, Jessica. And I'll leave the room and go to the cockpit and see what I got.
All right. As you sit down at the kind of captain's console that you have in the back of the cockpit, you actually notice you have two messages. One that was more of a general message, which is probably why Jess noticed it. It came into the ship, but you're the one who has access to it, basically. So you do have one slightly older message that came in like yesterday, that came into the ship addressed directly to you. That is from I forget her first name, Kaplener. Isn't that her last name? I think it is.
Kaplener?
Yeah. Roxana.
Oh, yeah. Good old
Roxana Kaplener.
Yeah.
So she sent you an email, basically, well, a cross space message, I guess.
Probably half of it is curse words specifically aimed at Astro.
And then the other email you got doesn't have a sender.
All right, let me open up Roxana's message. A little trepidation.
There is nothing in there except an advertisement. She has not written you a message, Astro. But as you read this very focus grouped sort of media safe message, you see that I have this specifically written down. That a Deathbot Chronicles sequel is now in production.
Oh boy. Does it say who's starring in it?
It doesn't.
Okay.
How many movies have there been so far?
Well, in Deathbot Chronicles, yeah.
Oh, this has to be a remake. Like a reboot, you know?
Yeah. They're going to cast a younger, hotter guy to play Astro's role.
Now, confirm for me, Astro, was there two? Because I thought your story was that in the process of filming the second movie is when you got into hot water with Taratella.
Actually, yes, I think you're right about
so there's
that.
only one released Deathbot, as opposed to his Alert movies. Where Astro got famous was his Alert movies.
Right.
Deathbot Chronicles is his most recent movie and maybe his most successful movie. It really was a blockbuster. A lot of people were saying when it first came out is like, oh, Astro's doing something new with these Deathbot Chronicle movies. We thought it was a risk for him to move away from his moneymaker in the Alert series. The fact that he turned out what's the name of the movie you turned down in the Alert series to go do Deathbot Chronicles, Astro?
Emerald Alert.
So you never did Emerald Alert, and instead picked up this, this screenplay that you just were really interested in, and you had the money. You could take a risk at this point, and you did the Deathbot Chronicles to great critical acclaim. And Taratella was convinced that if you could film and release Deathbot Chronicles 2, it might beat the record for highest grossing film.
Yeah.
But you screwed that up, Astro, for them.
Yeah.
By being a little bit more political than they wanted you to be during the filming of the movie, and due to non-reconcilable differences, the movie never got completed or released.
Yeah.
This is being billed as a Deathbot Chronicles sequel.
Sequel, soon to be prequel, but maybe post. You never know. They could change their minds.
It'll be a pre-sequel.
So I'm just saying, you never finished Deathbot Chronicles 2. This doesn't say Deathbot Chronicles 2, but it does say something in the wordings like a continuation of the Deathbot Chronicles.
Right. Astro will look aghast. He's like, no. I was hoping they'd hold off. Or just leave it alone.
I wonder if they're legally allowed to use the old footage from Astro's original recording of DBC2.
You'll find out.
I bet they do.
They probably made laws specifically to make it so they could.
Remember, this is the company that owns a planet to film their movies on.
And also consider this, and I know it's very topical given the recent news, consider this AI to fill in the missing Astro shots.
Yeah. Well, Astro will be upset at reading this, at seeing that they're actually going forward, but he'll take a minute and then kind of shake it off. And he's like, okay, I'll worry about that another time. That's not what's important right now. And he'll open up the other message.
Oh, that's fun. You open up the other message, Astro. Reeling from the news that you just got, waylaid onto you by Roxana, you did not run any security screens on this suspicious message you received, and it takes over your terminal.
He's like, oh, shit!
It happens literally instantly. The second you open it, your terminal's lost to you. It is taken over the entire terminal, and you get a message of an inbound call. This appears to be one of those real-time calls, the expensive ones. Something has taken over your terminal completely and is forcing one of these through to you.
Well, I might as well take the call.
It would only be polite.
Turn off the power to the DVC.
I mean, that's the option at this point. That's really the only other thing you could have done to stop this.
Unplug the monitor.
Yeah. The voice still booms through the speakers all around the ship.
I'm sorry, I can't see you.
So, a visualizer appears on the screen. Like one of those audio visualizers that just makes sound waves go up and down whenever it speaks. Yep. There's no person on the screen, just like a sound visualizer. And you hear a voice say, "Is this the DBC?"
Yes, who is this?
I am contacting from CDD.
Okay. What can I do for you? Mysterious CDD
is investigating the loss of a CDD agent.
And how does that concern me?
You were the last known employer of this CDD agent.
You're not talking about Ruination Conditioning, are you?
Ruination Conditioning was a senior agent.
And that's the one you lost?
Ever since you took Agent Ruination Conditioning to the mission, we have not heard from Ruination Conditioning since.
What was it Steve told us about RC that he joined up one of the pirate crews?
Well, he took one of your escape pods. You're down an escape pod in the DBC right now. Basically, he said, he basically threw all of his shit into one of the escape pods, and then before we got too far away, launched out of the ship, got picked up by the rival pirate crew and started working for them instead.
Did he mention what pirate crew?
The guys you were fighting.
Smack.
Yeah.
Smack.
Smack.
I'll say, he kind of ditched us after our last mission. He stole one of our escape pods, joined up with Smack, and we haven't heard from him since. So you should call Smack and see where he is.
That would not be out of character for Ruination Conditioning as a CDD agent. We do believe he can sometimes be reckless, but he has missed all check-ins since we last knew he was with you, and have not been able to confirm his location since.
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe he wanted to cut loose.
We have investigated reports that he may be working with the pirate crews, but have been unable to surface any evidence of his current location. Any evidence you have of his current location would be appreciated. We are willing to pay for the truth. We are doubting some of the information we are receiving.
Well, I am not sure what I can find, but I might have some contacts within the pirate crews. Maybe I'll be able to dig something up. Have you tried reaching out to Smack directly?
We have.
That's unusual, but I guess maybe it's not too unusual. From what I've experienced with Smack, they're a little disorganized. They probably don't have a tidy personnel sheet.
Do you believe Smack would have executed him summarily?
It's possible, knowing RC, that he got on their nerves, but he also did have a way of proving his value and his usefulness. I don't think they would just execute him.
We take the disappearance of a lost agent seriously, and obfuscation of the status of our agent is reason for hostility. For your sake, we hope you are not lying to us.
I'm telling you everything I know, but how about this? Maybe I could put some more resources into finding out his whereabouts, but I think we would have to make an exchange.
CDD is always open to making exchanges.
First of all, I knew he had connections with you. I didn't realize he was he does air quotes, senior agent. Was he reporting back to you about our activities? No response?
Chirp, chirp.
No response.
Well, how about if I find him for you, you tell me exactly what he was reporting to you when he was on mission with us.
If you find the lost agent ruination conditioning, or information that leads to the discovery of ruination conditioning, CDD will be amenable to providing information that you deem important.
Okay, I think we've come to an understanding then. Right now, I have some other priorities for my crew that need my immediate attention, but once we get some downtime, I will start looking into it.
CDD appreciates your cooperation.
All right, well, thank you. And, next time maybe don't hack my terminal when you want to give me a call. There was
no other way to get in contact with you.
Next time, check the message before you open it.
Yeah, really.
Fair enough.
Also, here's the phone bill. It's like a million credits.
Fair enough. Well, I'll be in touch then.
CDD will make available to you our proprietary messaging client. Do not share your access credentials to the CDD client with anyone other than yourself.
All right. I can do that.
The virus or whatever bug has got into your system that took it over recedes. but leaves behind a messaging client installed onto your terminal.
Okay. So this is what I would use to contact CDD.
Yes, it is just a slightly stylized font, like in a little icon that just says CDD. And if you try to open it, it just opens to like a place where you put in credentials, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, he'll have to look into that later.
All right. So what do you do now, Astro?
Yeah, after that, he'll go back to the entertainment room. And he'll say to Jessica, all right, well, I'm gonna sleep on the ship tonight.
All right. Well, I have some leftovers from making dinner. So if you're still hungry, they're in the fridge.
You know, that would hit the spot. I spent so much time talking at that event that I barely had any time to eat.
How did it go?
I think it went well. It's hard to know with these
Are we
things.
any closer to being done with this little side job?
It's possible. There was, when we were listening in on the counselors while they were talking, some of them were pushing, especially Ethic, for obvious reasons, are pushing to wrap this up sooner rather than later, since they're dealing with this little rebellion. She's mentioned, why don't we just hire the top 3? So I assume that means we're at least still in the top 3.
That's great news. Congratulations, Astro.
Thank you. Yeah, either way, we'll find out exactly where we stand tomorrow at 9.
All right. You want me to make you breakfast before you go?
That would hit the spot.
All right. Well, make sure you're up on time. Don't need our captain being late to the meeting.
Yes, I need to get my beauty sleep to look my best. Well, thanks, Jessica. I appreciate it. And as you keep an ear out, just let me know if you pick up anything unusual.
Okay. If I need to send you a message that has any encoded information on it, I will slip in a movie reference somewhere in the body of the message.
Perfect. I like it.
All right. Well, good night, Astro. I'm going to stay up for a little while. I got some things to do.
All right. Good night.
Night.
And I'll just I'll take some of those leftovers and take it to my quarters and then call it a night.
Astro, it's ribs. She made ribs.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know why she made ribs for herself alone on the ship, but she had ribs, and there are leftover ribs in the fridge.
Even better.
Those of you who stayed by at the residence, what do you guys get up to for the rest of the night? Do you just turn in, or do you have things you want to do?
After the party, Dyne would probably just say, you know what, I'm done for the night. And probably just turn in.
Yeah, same.
Evelene?
I feel like Evelene feels that she didn't accomplish much. And it's understandable given the fact that she isn't the most best in political situations like this. I think she's going to try to do a little bit of tinkering in the living room for a bit. Nothing particular, like I'm not trying to accomplish anything. I think just she's going to do some work and then go to bed. But she'll be up a little later than everyone else.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Anything interesting you get up to specifically?
You know what? I just remembered she still has that grapple hook. Maybe she'll be fine-tuning that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that makes sense.
At one point, she accidentally sets it off, and it like puts a hole in the wall, and she just kind of moves the lamp to cover up the hole and hopes no one will notice.
You guys and destroying inanimate objects, I swear.
Look, we didn't sign anything, and there's nothing that says we have to keep this place pristine when we leave. This isn't a hotel room or an Airbnb or a space B&B.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get the bill as we leave, and we'll just hand it to Evelene.
Is there anything you all want to accomplish in the morning, or do you want to move ahead till when everyone gets back together in the gathering area?
I would ask Evelene why it sounded like a gun went off in the apartment the previous night.
I don't know. She does the shrug. She does that shrug motion, and one of her hands is the gun.
I look over at the plant, look back at her, don't say anything, and just walk out the door, heading to the meetup area.
Astro will get up a little bit earlier to have breakfast. Have some small talk with Jess, and then once he finishes, he's just going to head straight to the residence. So he can meet with everyone before 9.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah, let's go.
Is that it?
I think so. Anything else?
Nope.
You guys were just going to get back together?
Yeah. When we get back together, I'll pull Steve aside, and say, "Hey, Steve, I got an interesting message yesterday."
Doesn't sound that interesting.
Well, it was from the CDD. Apparently they lost track of RC.
Okay.
So, yeah, it gets interesting. I guess he was like a senior agent for them, and he might have been spying on us, and relaying information back to the CDD while he was on our mission. Can't say it surprises me too much. But the weird thing is, now the CDD says that they haven't been able to reestablish contact with him. Do you know
Why are they contacting us and not the pirates?
That's what I asked them. I told them he went off to gallivant with Smack. And they should ask Smack, and they said they did, but were unable to track him down. Do you know exactly who picked him up or what ship he got to?
I don't know why you're asking me this. I was in bed with all of you when he left. I don't think I was the last person to even see him.
Time out 1 second. I thought you were the one that told us what happened. Is that not the case? Because then I wouldn't be asking you if that's not the case.
I don't. I think.
How is it that we came to believe that he ditched us and went to join Smack?
Jess made incriminating information or made a letter, I think, or something for us that we found in his room after he had left. That's my understanding of what happened.
Okay.
Is that not what we did, Bob, or am I?
That is essentially, you found evidence that he had left and taken everything with him, and I think specifically you might have reported one of the escape pods is gone.
That might have been it. Yeah,
that was what you did. You're the one who was like, oh, hey, one of the escape pods is gone, guys.
Okay, I thought it was something like you saw it happen, like you were in the cockpit and you saw the escape pod launch off and something like that was your story. So if that's the case, I don't think I actually would really single out. I'd have no reason to single out Steve to ask him about this.
I mean, it stands to reason you would ask all of us, but
right.
like, yeah.
So I would, instead of taking you aside, I would just tell the whole group like about this message I got. I said, yeah, it's weird. They're trying to get in contact with him. They don't know where he is. I said that maybe we could try to find out, try to locate him in exchange for information. Like, I would like to know what he was reporting back to the CDD about us, and how much,
I'm
how
sorry.
much exposure we have.
Is this our current? Are we still having this conversation? You did come to talk to me. Is that?
No. I
might
said,
have.
I said in this case I would be telling the group as a whole.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what's going on?
I mean, we could tell them about the escape pod, I guess. I mean, it didn't have any tracking information, so that's kind of useless.
Well, I told them everything we know.
All right.
Obviously, this isn't something we have to worry about now, but I just wanted to let you know they contacted me. Maybe when this is all done, we can try to make some inquiries and see if we can locate him.
I mean,
if we do that, we'll find out what he was telling the CDD about us.
I'm not really sure what we can accomplish that we didn't do before. I mean, I sent out some feelers. I feel like some other people did too, and nothing came out of that. I'm not sure what's changed. I mean, I basically gave Nora a ring and said, hey, if you hear, or my other contact said, like, if you hear about some, I honestly forget how we described him. Some little prick in sunglasses show up, let me know. Something to that effect.
Well, that's oddly specific.
No, I would have given a better description. Chuck, the player, cannot remember what he looks like other than the sunglasses.
I mean, my connections. If we need to talk to Ren or something, we can. But that seems like a gross waste of resources to me.
I just want to know what he was telling the CDD, and if we're exposed in any way as a result of having him on the ship.
Yeah, that's my main concern. Is like if he was leaking out information. I mean, that's not really good for us.
What information are you all worried about? Corpos maybe, but CDC and Corpos don't work that close, do they?
I mean, this is changing times. You never know. I mean, maybe they are now.
The problem with this is with the CDC is you never know what information. CDD, I'm sorry.
Center for Disease Control.
Yes. Yeah, he also works for the CDC, didn't you know? The problem with the CDD is that we never know what information they're looking for, and what we may think is not valuable could be very valuable to them.
Yep. Well, like I said, we can return to this at a later point. I just thought I should let you know that was the message I got yesterday.
Well, it's something we can worry about later.
He does not tell them about the Deathpot Chronicles.
Wait, what?
Sequel. He does not tell you guys about Deathbot Chronicles.
About the movie sequel.
Yeah.
Astro, nothing stays hidden on the ship forever. We're all going to find out eventually.
I mean, I don't know. All right. Well, that's it. Let's head on over to see where we ranked up.
As you all arrive in the assembly hall, it is organized much like it was before, except maybe it feels a little bit roomier in here. It's not as crowded for some reason. Losa is standing next to her little board with all the slats in it again. And there are actually 2 boards next to her this time. Both of them filled with slats that are covering up what you assume are your scores. I keep wanting to call them like associates or something. The committee members are all like waiting behind her, waiting for her to like start her like presentation, essentially. She looks around. All right, I guess this is everyone. Well, thank you all. It was a very nice experience last night. I think you all will have gotten to know each other a little bit better, and as such, we have gotten to know all of you a little bit better too. And that's what today's rankings will reflect. We think that all of you did a job of getting to show off what we can expect from you if we were to bring you to more corporate functions, or try to incorporate you into the flow of life here at Project Rebirth. So, without further ado, I'm sure you're all looking forward to finding out how you all did. The first board I have here is your rankings in the meetup last night. I want to give a special shout out to the team that came number 1. This team did a whole lot of work to make sure that they were both heard by and that they listened to all of the committee members and people who may have had concerns or interests in making sure things were done properly during the event. And then she pulls the first slat, and it says, "Murder of Crows."
Yes.
Holy shit.
Astro, fist pumps there.
There's like a 3-second moment where Steve forgets for a second that we're Murder of Crows. Oh, shit. Yeah, all right.
Oh, damn, that's us.
The madman actually did it.
Can I raise my hand at this point?
You can.
Yeah.
Losa goes, oh, sure, why not? Yeah, yes. What can I help you with?
I'm elated. This is great. But how was this scored exactly for all of our sakes?
Oh, I'm sure I can give a little bit of insight to that. So all of the committee members ranked you, and then we put all those rankings together.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Astro just nods his head like that made perfect sense to him.
Astro,
I mean, it tells me it was a popularity contest, right? But
It totally was.
I was curious if they actually had a scoring system.
Yeah. I mean, each committee member probably used different criteria for how they scored you, but it was basically just a vote. Second, this group really did a good job at advocating for themselves and specifically, giving recommendations of how they could be useful and looking to really sell themselves in a positive light. She pulls the second slat off of here. It is the Dire Scholars.
I softly clap.
Everyone.
And then elbow my friends.
I give a golf clap.
Most people are like politely clapping or ignoring this entirely. Like Cher Seal, for example, who's just staring. Third, the group was maybe a little bit more businesslike and cold than we would have liked, but in some cases that can be a useful asset. And, there is a lot to be said of, not, forcing yourself into situations where you need to do more than provide what you're supposed to. So our third place in this competition, and she pulls back the slat, is Cher Seal. Cher Seal you look over at them, they just nod. Like, yeah, that seems right. And then she will go down to the fourth. This group did a good job at getting into conversations where they could really give their qualifications. And specifically, I know that one of our committee members has an eye on you. And she pulls back the slat, and it is the cane vagrants.
Hey! Astro cheers loudly for them.
Like awkwardly loudly, like the rest of us are golf clapping, or
he kind of goes yeah, and then he trails off when he realizes that was louder than was appropriate for this situation.
The thing
the
is,
soccer mom at the elementary cool.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, cool.
The
That's
thing
cool.
is, also Bingo Reeds, who's one of the members of the Cane Vagrants, also almost in a surprise way went, yeah, like at the same time. So, not you get to share that a little bit there.
Share the awkwardness.
Everyone looks over at Astro, and everyone sees Astro's crew looking at Astro, going, what?
Now, this next group did a good job of making sure that they got around to talk to people, but was maybe a little less interactive than we would have liked. Pulls back, and it is Dwarf Elbost.
Oh.
They're lucky they got to be interactive at all.
Exactly. They would have done even worse. Sixth, we want to say that this group was maybe a little forward and sometimes a little pushy, but in some cases that was appreciated. In others, it was unwelcome. And pulls back the slot, and it is Uncanny Ravine.
I'll look at Smiles. Is he smiling still?
Yeah, he's smiling. He's like, he's smiling like in a way that's like, yeah, that's what we did. That's who we are.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
All is right in the world.
That's right. We can kill our way to the top. No, wait.
We did that.
The next group, we don't really have to get into this right now. She will pull back a slat, and it just says Prismalo. And then finally, I think that some people should check their drinking a little bit. It was a corporate function. Signs of respect were to be paid. It is important to remain presentable in company, and also to not bring undue attention where it is unwanted. And Losa seems almost a little like she's rebuking a little bit here. And she pulls the last slat and is Alabast.
Uh-huh.
Well, now that you've all seen the standings, I will direct your attention to our second board here. I have totaled up all your scores, and we have what the new totals are. Coming in first, this is a bit of a shocker. She pulls the slat, and it says, Share Seal ampersand Murder of Crows at 21.
Ooh.
Oh my.
That's right. We have a tie for first place between Murder of Crows and Share Seal. And then she starts clapping. And then expects people to join in.
I'll clap to that. Yeah.
Most of the people you've made friends with clap. Smiles claps. He's like, yeah, awesome. So that means that the two of you, we are pretty impressed. Hopefully you won't trip on our last little event here for you. Next, in third place, we have the Dire Scholars, having placed solid performances in both events. You did not need to win either, but placing highly in one has seen you rise into possible moneyed position. We hope that we will see great things from you in the next event. Next is Uncanny Ravine. Uncanny Ravine, you are exceptional at your battlefield performance. I know that maybe you stumbled a little bit with the last event, but don't worry. This last event, I've been told by one of our committee members, you should excel at.
Oh boy.
The Cane Vagrants, you're still in the competition. Pulling in a winning performance here could see your score skyrocket, so I would still hold out. Dwarf Elbost, you are also in a similar position to the Cane Vagrants. If you really get your act together and pull off just a stunning performance, this showstopper has got to be all out for you. And then, lastly, Alabast, you're bringing up the rear here a little bit, but there is still hope for you. So, if you can put the pieces together, we would like to see you put in the effort to really make a good performance for yourself so that maybe, even if you don't make it here, we'll be able to provide a good reference for you. She never unslats the final door in the board. She leaves it shut. All right, everyone. That is the rankings currently. As you can see, we do have a few front runners who are up ahead of things right now. But you all have an excellent opportunity to show off some skills here in things that we may actually have you work on with us. Our next event is going to be a practical of sorts. One of the things that we may need to call upon you to do during Project Rebirth is provide an outside eye view on security. And as people who are in the thick of it often, we hope that you'll have an eye to where security vulnerabilities could be. So our last event is going to be a practice, a security audit, essentially. We are going to set you all up with a separate scenario where we will face you off against some of our security in a simulated combat. We will have you do whatever you see you need to get done in order to accomplish your mission, and our security is going to try the best they can to stop you. Anyone who finds a security issue that we can actually use to buff up and make our security a little bit beefier will get a significant nod in the direction of first place in this event. Anyone who completes their mission securely and quickly and efficiently also will score you a varied amount of significant points. But remember, it is not just about achieving the directive that we set before you, but can you show us that your help would be what we need to find the exploits in our security and patch them over? Anyone who does not finish the mission will get 0 points on this last test. So it is important that you stick to the brief you are given at the beginning of your mission. Does anyone have any questions?
When does the mission begin?
You will all be receiving your mission directives shortly. Additionally, this is not anything too big, but we are going to have you all move your ships. Mumble, grumble. No, it's. I assure you, there is no problem. It's just we have all secured for you a different dock in a different docking module. We will send each of you your new docking module privately, and we need you to relocate your ships as soon as is possible.
Alrighty.
Huh.
Also, before that we get this final mission underway, it is important to know that this is going to be a simulated mission. There will not be live rounds on the field, and we do not expect you to kill our security members. You see every person in Smile's group get a little bit upset when she says that. Smiles is smiling, but now he's smiling in like a disappointed, like, come on kind of way.
He's like smiling, but like the edge of his like smile is like frowned almost.
Yeah, it's like a frump almost. So any weaponry that you used in the initial mission that we set for you is okay to be used in the final mission, but any weaponry that you did not use during there, you will have to report to our engineering team and have the weaponry evaluated, because we will need to determine how to simulate that weapon in this final battle. All right, well, you all have your orders. I would go ahead and get those ships moving there and get working on getting your various weaponry gauged in for the final simulation. And we will send you all your individual missions shortly.
I'll raise my hand again.
Yes.
Where are we moving our ships to?
We will send you all a private message on where your new dock are. We don't want anyone's competitors to find out where you're docked.
Okay.
She smiles. Okay. You're all dismissed.
Am I assuming we're moving our mechs back to the ship and then, or are we keeping them in the same place? I don't know.
I assume we're putting the mechs on the ship, right? I mean,
you're assuming whatever you're assuming, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we could ask before we all leave.
I would ask. I would raise my hand and ask her that.
Yes.
I would ask her, are we moving our mechs back to the ship before we move the ships to the new dock, or are we keeping the same mech hangar?
So the hangars that we have below this room are where our engineers are, who are going to be able to evaluate your weapons. If you don't need to have any certifications done on your weapons, you can go ahead and move your ships now and move your mechs back to your ships. You will be deploying essentially in the field, so you will need a way to get to your assignment. So I would recommend getting your mechs back to your ship before the assignment. But if you need to get any certs done for your weaponry or systems on your mechs that need to be weighed in, I would get that done while you're still here.
Okay. And she had said earlier that certification only needed to be done on anything new, right?
It only needs to be done on anything you did not use during the first mission. So what she's implied is they were monitoring you during the first mission, and any weapon you feel comfortable with, I used that during the first mission, they have that dialed in already, you don't have to worry about it. They will already be taking care of it. But if there is anything you're like, maybe this won't work correctly unless I go get it certified, you might want to go do that.
Okay.
So people who are using simple things like assault rifles and shields and things like that, they probably can assume the techs are going to get their stats right? But let me give you an example, Orion. Your weapon has like 5 different levels of charge, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you fire it at all 5 different levels of charge?
I only fired it at full charge.
Yeah, you probably want to get it dialed in for those other options.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was asking. So I'm like, yeah, my mech's a little bit special. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else need to get cert done on their mech?
What about like my system upgrades for hacking invade options?
Those would 100%. So let me put it this way: is it something that hurts people?
Some of them might hurt people. Some of them inflict status effects?
So let me put it this way. If it hurts someone, they probably don't want you hurting their security for real. So they're going to have to figure out a way to simulate that effect for you.
Yeah.
But if it's something like, I turn your computer screen off, you probably don't need to have that certified, because in the simulation, you can still just turn their computer screen off. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Anything, like,
gotcha.
It's up to you if you want to do it or not. They have not, like, LOSA very specifically did not give you, like, any, like, marching orders for, like, here's the letter of the law, so to speak. But depending on how you want to, you know, exhibit yourself, you may want to take that into account. I don't know how happy they'll be if you're like, what? I just gave them a computer virus. It's like, yeah, it made his eyes bleed. You know what I mean? Like, that might be a little iffy.
What? I just fired my cannon. Yeah, and you put holes through all 4 of them.
Well, I'll play it safe, and I'll just talk to one of these engineers and go over my capabilities. Some of them do, like, cause, like, one of them is eject power cores, so that's going to, and that'll cause adjacent people to take damage, so there's
that's 100% something they're gonna have to sim up. Okay, so Orion and Astro are definitely gonna get things checked out to see if they need to have them simmed. What about Evelene and Steve?
I think
other than my core system, I think everything else on the mech is pretty standard. I don't know about the Oasis wall and the Sun Crown, so I'd probably get those checked out too.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So then you'll have the... I literally just had it on the tip of my tongue. What is the name of your mech again?
Tweety Bird.
Tweety Bird. Yes. Tweety Bird. So you'll have the Tweety Bird get certed. Okay. And then Evelene, do you think you need to have this done?
You know, I think I've demonstrated everything that can actually hurt people other than the core power, so maybe that needs to be shown off.
Okay. Do you decide to do that?
Excuse me. Yeah, I should probably do that. Evelene's not here to murder people.
Okay. Then the 4 of you can head down to the hangar to start working on getting your mech started. As you get there, you know, who of you goes first?
Probably me, because you probably would take the longest.
Yeah.
Dyne, as you get to your mech, it's on already.
Yeah.
And Curry, like, as you guys come downstairs, Curry walks up to you before you even get to the mech. Hey, Dyne, I think we got a problem.
Oh?
Yeah, your mech turned on, and then I went to go talk to it, and it seemed to get angry at me, and I don't want to make things worse.
All right, I'll go talk to her.
Okay.
I walk over to my mech.
All right.
What's going on, Artemis?
You don't get a response at first.
I get into the mech and sit there and...
You climb up. You open the cockpit. You get everything opened up. Every screen seems to be running and evaluating information.
Can I tell what kind of information?
It is a mind-boggling amount of things. It is the schematics for the hangar you're currently standing in. It is what the cameras can detect from where they are. It is running checks on all known tags of the various competitors who are taking part of contest. It is running background checks into previous security reports that the system for the station has put in, in the past like 7 months. That on its own is its own screen, because it's just going through every security incident report, just being like, what kind of damage was done? What was the response? Like, what was the response time? Like, every screen is like doing things.
I go, Caster, what's Artemis doing?
Dyne. I appear to be locked out of the system.
Fantastic. Artemis, what are you doing?
Dyne.
Yes.
I think we're under attack.
By who?
I think someone's sneaking up on us and is going to attack us.
Inside or outside the station?
Inside. Well, outside. We'll be outside when it happens, but they're inside and we're inside right now. But at the time it happens, I think we'll be outside and they'll be outside.
Okay. I'll let the others know. We'll have to be on alert because we'll be moving back to the ship and moving soon.
It's an ambush. You see one of the screens go into alert mode.
Okay. Are there NHP psychologists? Yeah, I think we need one. So on the screen that she's showing me, what's on the screen? Is it a ship?
It is like the alert that you would send to the team, like, oh god, we're under attack. This is like what would appear on your screen if you were asleep to like wake you up and be like, we're under attack, get weapons live. As you're sitting here, you hear the engine and weaponry on your mech start to heat up. Artemis is turning your mech on.
Artemis?
It's an ambush. We're being ambushed.
Calm down. I understand, but I'm going to call Jessica. Like, just straight from Artemis. Or straight from my mech.
Okay. Are you going to try and take back one of the screens that Artemis is using?
Yes, I'm going to say, Artemis, give me a screen.
We need to divert all attention. They could be anywhere.
I understand. Still need to get an outside perspective. I trust you, Artemis, but you have to trust me as well.
One of the screens comes back under your control, and as soon as it does, you see caster's symbol appear on it, it opens up and activates for you, and it does what you want it to do.
Okay. Caster, get me in contact with Jessica. We need to see what's going on outside the station.
All right. You get a line, and Jess gets on the line. Just, Dyne, what's going on?
So Artemis thinks that we're under attack. Is there anything going on outside of the station that you can tell?
You see her looking at something else off screen. No, seems pretty boring.
Any ships? Anything?
I mean, docked and moving, but no weapons fire. No combat I can see. Why? Is there a problem?
Well, I don't know exactly what she's running, but she seems to think that we're going to be ambushed.
Well, I don't think unless the enemy is so good at an ambush we don't know we're currently in an ambush, I think we're fine.
Artemis, can you send your data over to Jessica to at least share so that you can share the burden, please?
You hear Jessica on the other end of the line go, "Whoa, what the hell is this?" This is too much data. It would take me weeks to go through all of this.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm going to pass a message to the rest of the crew and say, get your mech certified. It's going to be a little bit before I can move from here. And I'm going to work with Jessica to try and parse what the hell Artemis is trying to show us.
Okay. Do any of you question that message, or do you just go forward with doing what you were doing?
Astro's like, everything all right? You need help?
I will let you know once Jessica and I figure it out.
Yeah, I mean...
All right, well, that sounds ominous, but I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, I mean, if you need hands, you know we'll be here. Don't blow up the ship.
I'm going to say...
outside of the mech, you see the cannon on Dyne's mech starting to turn red.
I'll say, are you powering up weapons, Dyne?
I'm going to say Artemis, not the ZFG. Not yet.
But it's our primary deterrent.
Keep it in standby. We can react as needed. I'm going to say, Astro, as soon as you're done getting your mech checked out, come back. I'm going to need your help as well. We're going to need a third, maybe a fourth with your AI. I'm sorry, I can't remember your third AI's name.
Kubrick.
Thank you.
Okay, will do.
All right, Jessica, let's start going through this.
All right, and that's what you start spending time doing. You are able to convince Artemis that you're taking her concerns seriously enough that she is willing to pause the alert to allow you to review all the data.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's good.
All right, who's getting started first?
I'll go next.
All right. Astro, as you bring your mech over to the cert station, there are a couple of mechs already set up in here. There is a couple people from the Dire Scholars who are here having their mech certed. They see you come over and park and get in queue, essentially.
Yeah.
And one of them waves at you and just congenially gives you the head nod.
Hi. Mondays, am I right?
Yeah. One
it's
of them
Tuesday.
laughs. Do you try to see what they're talking about? Or do you just let them continue their conversation without you getting involved?
I just let them continue.
Do you try to hear what they're saying?
Yes, I will try to eavesdrop.
All right, go ahead. What check is this?
This would be a act unseen or unheard. I'm not gonna try to get closer to the point where I get caught. So I'm just going to, I think, just roll a flat d20 to see if I can hone in on their conversation.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay. An 11.
Okay. Well, with that, you hear they're talking about the fact that Prismalo dropped out of the competition. They're discussing the fact that they didn't appear on the second board, and they believe that Prismalo, they weren't present in the assembly hall this morning. And one of them, you don't know their names well because you aren't the one who's been basically communicating with them. But you see one of them basically say to the other, yeah, I mean, I heard them say something about lining up a juicy gig and the fact that they can't wait out to see what happens here. So they were going to go take care of that.
Yeah, that's what I expected might happen. All right. Yeah, Astro will just keep to himself for now.
Okay. Eventually, it is your turn. They take your mech in. They have you describe any maneuvers and or weapons or systems that you would be afraid to use normally during a simulation fire mission for fear of it not operating properly or too intense on not a live fire mission. So they basically give you the freedom to tell them, what do you think we need to look over with your mech to give you the best showing you could have?
Right. There's probably not time to swap out any systems, is there?
That is something you could have done during your last full repair.
Yeah. Can I say I did swap out, given that we heard in that conversation about the maybe doing security, I would like to swap out and add in my Lotus projector. So let me see what I want to swap out for that. Lotus projector is 2 system points. I'll probably instead swipe out the marker light for the Lotus projector. And then I'll go over with them the different invade options I have installed in my mech. So the power eject power cores, which can cause energy damage. Puppet system, which can be used to knock back other mechs. So not necessarily cause damage, but probably something they still want to know about. And I think a couple of them. The viral logic suite also causes mechs to take heat, so that's probably something they want to know about. I don't know if I used any of my weapons in the last one, so I'll just give them a rundown of the weapons I have: the Mortor and the Oracle LMGs.
Did you give your mortar a very fun name?
No.
The Mortor.
The Mortor. The Mortor. There's another like tower defense game I play with a friend, and we always call them Mortors, and I just let that slip in the wild.
I mean, scanning any traditional fire weapon does not take long. But yeah, they are like, okay, well, we're going to have to sim up some of these other things. We will get that all set up. You see, like, there is like a team of people here that is like taking these things. Like a group of 4 came over to evaluate your mech. There's like 2 on like little raised platforms examining your mech while like 2 more talk to you, basically. But yeah, they say that they don't think it's going to be a problem. They'll be able to get this set up for you.
Alrighty.
All right, who goes next?
I can go.
All right. Evelene, what do you want them to figure out and sim up for you?
I mean, they've seen everything up until this point other than the core power, so I guess I'm going to focus on that, because that generates that shield with extended energy spikes, which I guess they get to simulate, like, when it's activated, like, anything within a certain proximity takes damage, I guess?
Yeah.
Either that, or they give me a bunch of marshmallows to put over the spikes. One of the 2.
I mean, that's exactly the kind of thing they're looking for. So like, okay, so they want to know what happens or what the intended effect of it's supposed to be and things like that. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna try and get that figured out here for you. Quick question for Astro before I forget. You said you were going to swap out something for your other thing?
Yeah, I'm swapping out my marker light for Lotus Projector.
For Lotus Projector. Okay, I just wanted to make the switch on my side too.
Okay.
So I see it. And you'll have to update it in Foundry for your own Mac.
I'm on it.
All right, and then Steve.
Yeah, I don't. The more I think about it, the more I don't. I mean, they know what hex charges are. Pattern B hex charges, I'm sure, right? They're just grenades.
Let's say probably.
Okay, if it's explosive, I'll show them it. So the grenades in this case,
they'll want to know the specifics because there are different grenades. You know what I mean? They want to make sure like they get the what grenade you're using right. You know, so they're gonna do some scans on it, determine what your payload is, and things like that. Anything else?
No, I'm not going to tell them anything else.
Okay, so you're not going to fully sim all your stuff.
It's like my core power, and if I'm using that at that point, then something's probably gone wrong anyways.
Okay.
So I don't really want them to have all the information.
All right. So keep in mind, anything that they don't know about, if you use it, you'll have to actually use it when you use it, because they won't have a sim version for you to use instead.
Oh, so it's not using it when we do that? Okay.
Well, no. What I'm getting at is like during the battle, if you're like, man, it'd be really nice to use my core power right now, unless you actually want to use the full effect of your core power.
Yeah.
They won't have a sim ready for you. So like, for example, if you don't tell them my big gun does 36 damage, then you'll actually have to kill someone with 36 damage to show them what it does, because they won't have simmed up 36 damage for you that will be non-lethal instead. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't really thinking of it that way. I guess I will. I'll show them the Hall of Mirrors then.
Yeah, because the holograms explode, right? They create little explosions. Yeah. You would have had to actually detonate these explosions then, you know, which would be exactly what they're trying to avoid. All right, so yeah, they can go. They like. You can tell they're a little like, oh, that's like they're a little interested in how that thing works. But yeah, they'll get something figured out for a way that, you know, when you log in your system that you're doing this,
okay, cool.
It will do that simulated damage and effect against anyone who should have been affected by your actual system.
Cool.
So, since I know that Dyne needs to have basically all of his systems put in, because most of these systems, however, were created by Dyne.
Yep.
So, could I just have Caster output the data that Caster would think would be needed for the sim and just give it to the techs?
Caster can try. Make a pilot check.
This is probably engineering weapon systems and reactors, right?
I mean, it's 100% what that is. You do this for yourself already.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, good. Looks like we got the logic bomb and banish going right there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm messing with my character sheet and I just activated logic bomb.
Just logic bombed all over the place.
Yeah.
All right. 26.
26. With that, Caster is like, you are going to have to help, because you need to like figure out like, oh, what do you think they need? Caster can kind of like, Caster basically is like a super powerful personal assistant in this way. He kind of more assists you in doing it rather than doing it for you. So, but he is able to like, you're able to very quickly give him a few keywords and things you're looking for, and he's able to compile a little output pad for you fairly quickly. You get a little UMD dispensed that has all of the system information and sims that you think they might need.
I take it and I go, Artemis, I will be right back. I promise. And I quickly
Don't die.
I promise I won't. I will quickly go over and to the engineers, and I will give them this, and I go, most of my systems are made by me. This contains everything you should need to know.
Oh,
they can.
Yeah, he looks at hold on. He has his friend plug it into his system in the UMD slot. They look at it cursily and is like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, hey, we'll send you some questions if we need any, but this looks pretty good. We'll get started with this."
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you hear the guy at the computer go, "Oh, this guy just does our job for us."
Well, this seemed like the easiest way to get it done. And I like run back to the mech and I go, okay, Astro, can you and I'm sorry, I forgot the name of your AI again. Or NHP. Kubrick. Can you and Kubrick help us parse all of this information as well?
Yes. We'll get on that.
He logic bombs and banishes the information.
Yeah. Whoops. You didn't want me to use my viral suite?
Luckily, Artemis identifies Astro as an ally.
That is lucky.
So she is willing to share the data with you. Astro, how are you trying to help with this?
I would ask Dyne, like, what category of data do you want me to focus on? I can create some, maybe I can ask Kubrick to create some like subroutines to filter through and interpret.
I'm going to say Artemis believes that there is going to be an ambush based on what's within this data. I don't know how you want to parse that, but it looks like she's been looking into past security breaches, history, things like that within the station. So however you feel that you can break that down to try and figure out where she's coming from.
Is Artemis okay?
She's panicking.
That's not normal, right?
No, but Artemis is not a normal AI.
If there's going to be an ambush, shouldn't she be able to present the evidence in a clear manner?
That's why I need your help to parse what's going on.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. And I'll say, like, I'll take this category of data. Like maybe there's like surveillance data, and I'm like, I'll take that. And I'll ask Kubrick to filter through and show any potential threats on the station, and grade it.
What's your criteria for threats?
Anything that could kill us imminently.
Define imminently.
Like today.
Within the next couple of years.
Within the next hour or so.
I detect cigarettes. These could kill us in multiple years.
I think Artemis is not functioning correctly and seems to think we are about to be ambushed. We need to look through the data objectively and show her that there's no imminent danger to us.
She has been proven right. Everyone panic.
Sure. I'll see what I can edit out.
I know it's not your favorite thing to do. I promise you things will get a lot more interesting soon.
The work needs to get done. I hope you're doing your share.
Oh yes, I am. I'll be manually reviewing the data as well.
you start getting reports back from Kubrick as he starts to review the data that is streaming to you through Artemis. And you keep getting as he finishes, he keeps sending each packet to you for like second review, basically. Mm-hmm. And you keep getting things packed back as like inconsistent, no danger found, no link between these two things is confirmed. This thing is marked as probable. I don't think that it's that high. Basically, you keep getting back things that are like his notes, right? On like, right. I think this is wrong. That's wrong. No. Yeah. But it's also, but it's also like, it's written in such a way where like you will see a thing that is like, this is a log about a security threat that shows like people breaking onto some free floating platforms that hover around the module that are basically security platforms. They're like little extra module platforms that the security like has a bunch of weaponry and buildings on, like patrol stations, right? And it shows, a patrol station being ambushed by raiders or something like that. And you see how Kubrick is like, this isn't the situation we're currently in, right? That's how he marks it, basically, when he sends it back to you. It's like, obviously, we're not getting ambushed here. We're not here right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're in a hangar, like, we're not in space, and sends it back to you, right? So you keep getting these kinds of things back to you where it's like, he's marking them off as like, here's why I don't think this is a problem. But it keeps coming. And eventually Kubrick will say, Astro, I think the problem is it's too generative. I think someone needs to stop filming, so to speak. I just keep getting more input.
I agree. I think the problem is, too, that Artemis might have lost objectivity and is seeing threats in all the data when it doesn't exist. Like a method actor who doesn't know how to turn off after a day of shooting.
Well, figure it out. I don't want to deal with the talent.
Dealing with the talent is my specialty. So this talent, I don't know. I might
Orion,
be out of my league.
Dyne, that is.
Yeah.
As some of this is getting offloaded and Kubrick is like, unmarking some of these, Artemis is calming down a little bit. You've gained control back of the mech. It is no longer powering up weapons and shields and stuff like that. But a lot of data is still getting crunched, like, consistently. Like, you're no longer in DEFCON 1, the warning message is off, but, like, she just doesn't stop. She just keeps going. She just keeps looking for more things. Like, you thought, okay, we'll deal with what's here, and then we'll figure it out. Well, that hasn't solved itself because she's still taking in more data.
Is the data becoming more and more current? Or is it going farther and farther back? Can I tell?
It's actually going in both ways, because as she gets up to the minute reports on the current situation of things, that's getting added to the reports. And also things that are concurrent, like it's expanding via distance and time. Like, she is now finding things that are slightly further away that can be added, and that are slightly further back, and that are slightly more recent than she's updating the data constantly.
Okay. I'm going to tell Artemis and give her like some parameters to try and curtail her going like in all different directions. I'm not going to try and outright stop her, but I'm going to try and limit her with like, don't go beyond this date. That's too far out to be relative. Or don't go this far out into the system. That's way too far out for us to be able to accurately predict any type of threat. That kind of thing.
Go ahead and make a check against her.
Let's see. I feel like this would be appropriately a stay cool because I'm trying to stay cool in the face of Artemis.
Sure.
6. Damn it.
All right. Orion, she does the thing where she starts connecting dots quicker than you can make sense of them. Where she's like, it's like you made the misstep of rebuking individual things and not just trying to get her to like see her own folly, right? So what happened is you're like, but this isn't relevant. And she seized on that to show you every piece of corroborating information that says that that is relevant. Okay. So it's like the thing where you made the mistake of pointing at one piece of evidence on the crazy corkboard with all the red lines everywhere, and you're like, but why does this matter? Now she's going to explain to you why that matters, and you start getting a new influx of data that's like, no, you don't understand. You know, that security log was important because when that happened, we were here and they were there, and then this happened. You know, like she starts connecting dots starting from there.
All right. Well, so I'm going to try to convince her to at least let the mech be taken back to the ship, and we can continue the data crunch there.
Okay. She doesn't have any strong objections to this. In fact, she insists that we do this immediately.
Okay. And while we're on the way, I'm going to try to calm her down.
Don't you need to get the mech checked for simulation?
Nope, I gave them the data. I literally gave them the data. Yeah.
At some point after I had my evaluation with Kubrick, I'm going to reach out to Dyne and say, Dyne, can we have a word in private?
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
Is Artemis listening right now, or can I speak freely?
I don't think you can avoid her listening in.
Can you meet me outside your mech?
Sure. I will be right back, Artemis. I promise I'll return. And I will leave the mech to go see Astro.
Absolutely.
I'll say, you know when someone is suffering from schizophrenia and they say you shouldn't buy into their fantasies?
Essentially, what she's doing right now is creating the biggest corkboard and string that you've ever seen.
Yeah. And the more data she brings in, the harder it is to refute it because they're just overwhelming us with the data.
Yeah.
Are you able to turn her off?
I can hard shut down the system, can't I, Bob? Like, just flat out shut down the Mac.
You could. If anyone else tried, she might kill them.
Okay. Yeah.
So you think you could turn her off if it came to that?
Yes, I can. I'm going to try to convince her to shut down the mech, to provide me the data that she has, so I can shut down the mech and evaluate it based on what has been provided. If she continues to add too much information, she's likely to lose sight of what we are seeing now because she's just looking at things way too broadly. It's like she's looking at a map of the solar system instead of the problems on the planet.
I will say, Dyne, you have also identified a problem where in the current state of things, you can't keep up with her speed.
Okay.
One of the problems is she has overestimated your ability to keep up with her.
Okay.
And you know that, like, in some ways she is having problems explaining things to you because she thinks you are understanding the information faster than you are, and she is not understanding that you're falling behind.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to tell her, slow down. You're going way too fast, Artemis. You're making connections faster than I can connect them. Take it. I mean, I know you can't, but take a deep breath. Please, for both our sakes.
She will, but seems to struggle at doing so.
Artemis, what started all of this? Show me where it began.
And at that, you get basically after the last mission, after you sat down in here to take things into account, Artemis was here alone, basically, and was kind of in a defensive position because you're in a uncertain area. Was told needs to keep Curry safe, need to keep your mech safe, make sure that no one tries to sabotage you all while you're gone. So Artemis, just as a matter of course, decided, okay, let's do a threat evaluation.
Oh dear God.
The threat evaluation did not go well. The threat evaluation has turned into this somehow. Somehow the threat evaluation spun out of control, and you're not sure exactly why that happened, but you are able to see that was the inciting incident. Artemis identified a threat, but wasn't able to identify exactly what the threat was. And this spun out of control trying to identify exactly what the threat was.
Okay. Having isolated the incident, I'm going to share the initial point with Jessica and Astro and Kubrick. Like, okay, so this is where we began. Can we figure out what this is?
I think we need to convince Artemis that
I know.
She is not being objective. Can you reset her?
Looking at this, it would take weeks to unpick all this information. There's just too much here.
Okay.
If you gave me an entire like intrigue group or something, I could probably set them all to work into taking all this information apart. But with just us, just here with what we have right now,
yeah. Okay.
Listen, Dyne, I'm worried your NHP has become unstable and is a threat to our mission. Do you think you can reel her in?
I will try.
Because it's either that or we shut her down.
Am I able to... I know what kind of threat did she see that she was not able to tell? Am I able to tell what kind it is? Even if it's not like...
it's weird because it's like you got a bunch of information about... She started being like, okay, who am I sharing this hangar with? And she started looking up the other mercenary groups. And she started looking up, the layout of E2705. And she started looking at, E2705 has its own security. Somewhere during that process, it's like she made a connection intuitively, which is odd, because as far as you're aware, that's impossible.
Yeah.
But she was surprised by this. And because she wasn't able to put, she basically arrived at an answer without knowing what equation gave her that answer, and it sent her spiraling because she's like, I don't know how I got an answer without putting an equation in.
Okay.
She basically intuited
AI
there was
intuition.
a threat. Yeah, she basically intuited a threat, and that's a problem.
Yeah. So what I'm going to try to do is I want to shut down the Prometheus, remove Artemis, and I'm going to like it because I can remove her and take her. And I'm going to take her with me into my room, and I'm into like the med bay, and I'm basically going to try and talk through her logic with her.
Okay.
I'm trying to have a dad conversation with her.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She will let you do this only because she trusts you.
Right.
You basically tell, like, how do you explain to her that you need to do this?
I go, look, this is the first time you have ever made a connection without the data to back it up. We need to talk it through to figure out where that intuitive response came from. Otherwise, you could make connections that may or may not have any meaning. That way, in the future, if this were to happen again, you would be able to more effectively resolve the situation.
That makes perfect sense to her, and she will let you do as you said.
Okay. And at that point, all of the incoming data calms down.
Yeah, it just cuts off. It's like pulling a plug. Like you were getting like the Library of Congress downloaded into your Mac before Astro. That stream just stops.
Which one is the ferrofluid again? Sorry,
the ferrofluid was the stuff that came out of the mechs that repaired them and exploded.
Okay, what's the other stuff? What was the name for that?
The Vesalian medium.
The Vesalian medium. Yeah. I'll say to Dyne, do you think she's behaving this way because of the Vesalian medium? Remember how our AI started to exhibit odd behavior around it?
It's probably a combination of that, plus that she is a custom AI. I don't particularly know the difference, all of the differences between a traditional NHP and a custom, but that plus the Vesalian medium is definitely making a difference. If you could, at some point later, bring me a cup or a pot of coffee. I'm probably going to need it.
It's already brewing. I'll go get it now.
All right. Well, with all of you having gone through CERT, figured out where your rankings are currently, gotten your mechs back to the DBC, loaded back on with the promise of a new mission around the corner, and only one of your members suffering a weird sort of incapacitation right now, I'm sure everything will be fine for next episode. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and call it here, and then we'll see everyone next time. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Does your AI tell the future now?
Only if it's on her corkboard.
Your AI is Muad Dib.